The movie started. On day one, the movie begins in a peaceful and quiet small town square. Lee stops by a general store and notices a spaceship toy. Meanwhile, news reports reveal a global invasion with a devastating death toll in Shanghai. While other townspeople enjoy their idyllic lives, Emmett, another father, watches his son play and listens to a radio broadcast. When it's Marcus's turn at bat, he looks terrified, and suddenly, Emmett's radio goes static, and a dog starts barking. During a baseball game, a giant flaming object crashes through the sky, capturing Marcus's attention. The crowd falls silent as Lee gathers his family to leave, and a cop friend informs Lee about officers heading to a nearby crash site. Suddenly, a creature crashes into the cop's car. Evelyn tries the radio but gets no signal. As they drive away, another creature lands on a car, narrowly avoiding collision. Seeking refuge, they enter a local watering hole, where Raj prays. Lee signals for silence as a creature approaches. The creature opened its head, utilizing its super-sensitive hearing. A girl's phone rang, exposing their location, and the creature burst through the glass. Lee and Reagan fled out the back, the creature in pursuit, causing destruction along the way. The officer fired at it, to no avail, and the creature attacked him with its gangly claws. Now, on day 474, the events from the first film and the creature's assault have rendered their farm uninhabitable. They must venture into the unknown world to gather essential supplies. Reagan grabbed a portable PA system, just in case they encountered aliens on the road, and retrieved her father's marked-up map of the area. Meanwhile, their mother struggled through the water-filled basement to retrieve oxygen bottles for the baby. Reagan found a poignant moment alone on the silo. Clutching Lee's watch, she fought back tears. Lee's trail had guided them to safety before, but now they faced uncharted waters, standing at the literal end of the line. As they traverse overgrown train tracks, Reagan spots a smoldering fire above. Their journey takes them through a hole in a fence, where Evelyn accidentally hits her backpack. Unfortunately, this distraction causes her to miss a trip line right in front of her. The tension rises as they sprint forward, aware that someone is watching from above through a gun sight. Marcus too proves to be accident-prone, stepping directly into a bear trap. His screams fill the air, and Evelyn does her best to quiet him while covering their tracks. And Evelyn removes the trap from Marcus's leg. In a fleeting moment, she gives him a hug, but urgency prevails as they hear a distant screech. Suddenly, a creature bursts through the gate, and Reagan decides to fight back. Using her hearing aid trick, she emits a shrill noise that exposes the creature's vulnerable insides. Evelyn takes aim and eliminates the threat. The Abbotts are truly in uncharted territory now, facing danger at every turn. Inside another structure, Emmett, though covered up, snatches the kids and Evelyn. They avoid detection, but the creature still senses them. It crashes through barrels and crawls over their heads on scaffolding. They escape into a big pipe, seeking safety in a large oil boiler. Emmett, aware of their dire situation, coldly admits he can't help due to limited supplies. Evelyn shows him the baby, hoping to sway him. Emmett reveals his luxurious living quarters and provides leftover alcohol to clean Marcus's wound. Emmett, Evelyn, and Reagan find shelter in a concrete building. Emmett, who has lost his family, reveals that his wife Nora died due to illness. They endured pain at home until it became unbearable, forcing them to seek refuge here. A mysterious radio signal playing beyond the sea changes their journey's course, leaving Reagan puzzled about its significance. Emmett and Reagan clash over the mysterious radio signal. Emmett claims he's heard it for months, but Reagan doubts him. They couldn't pick up the signal until leaving their valley. Reagan, using sign language, expresses hope that she can save everyone. Despite Emmett's skepticism, she sets out early the next morning, tracing the train tracks. When she goes missing, her mother is devastated, having already lost Lee. As Reagan approaches the next train station, she notices an odd abundance of abandoned shoes. Inside a train car, she discovers signs of an attack, rotting bodies, claw marks, and a gaping hole. While searching for supplies, she opens an operator door and is startled by a body dropping down. An alien is already tuned into her screen. Climbing inside and going right after her, she unleashes her killer squeal, and with it incapacitated, fires a shot, but only wings its fleshy innards. Another shot rings out. It's Emmett. All the commotion means they're in even more danger now, and it looks like Emmett is here to put a stop to her plan. He's going to take her back home, he says. Even just broaching the subject of his wife sets Emmett off, growling to never talk about her. She continues to her point. With Nora, he felt that he didn't do enough to save her, but now here's his chance to do so. In the morning, it seemed like all their efforts were in vain. Stepping outside, she's devastated. However, Emmett reappears. Meanwhile, back at the warehouse, not much is happening. Marcus remains unwell, and Evelyn, feeling she has no other choice, heads into town to get supplies. The poor kid is left alone once again, and he breaks down, fearing that if she doesn't return, he might not survive. It'll only be a couple of hours. It'll be fine. Her trek forces her to cross paths with a familiar bridge and the memorial that they left for their son. It's quickly nightfall, and Marcus is growing worried about his mom, as well as the depleting oxygen levels that are getting really low for the baby. He comes to Emmett's faux bedroom, including a bunch more drawings of his kids, showing us just how much his family is still on his mind. Behind a curtain, he finds Nora's rotting corpse there, the sight of which spooks him good. The sound has already drawn a creature to the area, hearing clicking nearby, so he grabs cover in the boiler. Although he unfortunately forgets to put something on the handle to be able to get out, effectively trapping him inside with the baby, and they're running out of oxygen. Emmett and Regan traverse through a small, empty seaside town, then reaching the harbor where they, too, encounter an unexpected wrinkle. Emmett scans the boats to determine which is the most seaworthy. They come to a little girl, facing down. Emmett gently crawls up to her. She lifts her face, revealing it to be all strange and spotty looking, surprising him with a noose around the neck. Others join them on the pier, and a greasy dude holds a knife up to Regan's neck. He then gives Emmett the once-over, seeing the man's eyes are blood red, and there's lots of scars on his arms and boils. They ultimately decide to take the girl and leave Emmett to die. As she's ushered away, Emmett signs for her to die. Back at the warehouse, Evelyn arrives just in time to see the critter make its way through the pipe below, the entire thing completely crashing through the floor. She considers what to do, and she better get a move on, seeing that they are running way low on oxygen. Marcus having to share some of the baby's limited supply. She impatiently waits until it gets on top of some spilled gas, and Emmett rushes the guy from behind. He drops his lantern, starting a fire, and wraps a chain around the man's neck, all the noise bringing an alien onto the scene, and Emmett seizes this to his advantage. He ties the man around a pole, stabs him in the leg, and dives into the water. His reactionary yell sends the creature down upon him. The creature is unaffected by the fire, yet the flames trigger the sprinklers to go off to her advantage, making it difficult for the creature to hear over the white noise, which she also did back at the farmhouse before. She gets to Marcus and shakes him back to consciousness. Underwater, Emmett struggles to remove his chains and is yanked back to the surface. One jumps straight into the water after him and flails helplessly. In the fracas, Regan has managed to secure a boat and saves the day, grabbing Emmett on board. And after all that, they did it. Time to see if this island of salvation is all it's cracked up to be. They discover what looks like a little neighborhood there, making sure to stay quiet and out of sight. That's why they're understandably shocked when encountering a bonfire with people hanging out carefree. After finding food, Emmett encounters a man on the island who explains their situation. The National Guard instructed people to board boats when news spread that swimming was impossible. Humanity's darker side emerged as everyone fought to escape. Only 2 out of 12 boats made it that day. Emmett hands over the hearing aid, now fully understanding Regan's plan. Peter has agreed to help, and Emmett apologizes for doubting her. He acknowledges he's nothing like Lee. As they prepare, a boat arrives, but it's crawling with creatures. The group seeks refuge in a house, Peter protecting his son and another child in a closet, before heading to the radio station. Peter honks in their car to draw attention away from the townsfolk, screeching down the road. One lands right on the back, shredding through the roof like butter. It eventually loses its grip, rolling off the side of the road. They arrive at their FM salvation, but Peter is preoccupied with getting back to his family. He's also standing perilously close to an open garage door. An alien claws him in the back, dragging him away. They make it inside, and things are all quiet. Yet the creature is still with them, right down the hall. However, the studio is wide open. So long as they can stay whisper quiet, they can get into that thing and get this plan rockin'. Emmett helps her get through, and Regan has to close a desk drawer to get down. Meanwhile, the rest of the family have officially run out of time and oxygen, meaning they are gonna have to get out of this boiler, at the very least, to grab a fresh tank. Anyway, it looks like the coast is clear at first, until the monster shows up. Evelyn runs back to the boiler, and can't get the door closed in time. It claws at them with its long limbs, and there's nowhere to go. The other goes after Emmett, and just about to get him, Regan blares the signal set up. She slowly backs up to the soundboard, and turns off the record, jamming her hearing aid on the microphone. Marcus hears it too, over his headphones, and knows that his sister has prevailed. He turns on his own speaker. Marcus, for once the man in charge. There's no real progression for him to get to this point, but it is happening. Regan goes for an equipment pole, and Marcus retrieves a gun. He breathes purposefully, training the gun on the creature, and Regan stabs the pole right into her juicy head, the other falling down lifelessly, shot dead by sheepish little Marcus. So it was the kids in the end who saved the day. Evelyn looks on in wonderment. Reagan retrieves her pole, and it ends here. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.